What does this button do? Geeks on Tour. I'm Jim.
And I'm Chris.
And we are the Geeks Who Teach. This is episode 31. Somebody didn't change that. Okay, it's an educational show about smartphones and tablets. With us, the Geeks on Tour. Please. I'm Jim. And together with my wife, Chris, we are the Geeks on Tour. Do you think your smartphone is smarter than you? I do. Do you have questions about your Android or your iPad tablet? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn something is in regular pieces. So we've come up with this weekly show. And our website, geeksontour.com, has the archive of all the shows, plus several hundred tutorial videos that are prepared on the other topics we teach.
Okay. We're in Mesa, Arizona again. We did the Arizona Computer Technology Conference this past week. It was a lot of fun. And we were in Mesa. This thing is something to do with computer clubs. It has nothing to do with
RVs.
And so a lot of you guys are in computer clubs anyway. So that's where we are. And next week we're doing the Good Sam Rally. The Good Sam Rally is called The Rally. It's Good Sam in Camping World. And it's at the Phoenix International Raceway. And we'll be doing 8 seminars.
Yeah. Well, four topics, twice each.
Okay.
But we'll be busy. But we also have a table in the welcome area. So if you're going to be there, please come see us. Come to a seminar or come to our table.
All right. The way we do this show is kind of strange. We have a beginner's...
Everything we do is strange.
Yeah, it is. It's fun, though. We'll have quick tips. Chris will do a few quick tips. And then we'll do the beginner's lesson with something that we think is important for beginners to know about their smartphones and tablets. We'll start with the iPad, and we'll show Android in there, too. And then I'll do the app of the week. This week it is...
Time out timer.
Smart timer. We'll figure it out here in a minute. But anyway, yeah. And then we'll take questions. Please leave your questions in the comments, either here in the event page, or if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can leave your questions there in the comments, and we'll try and get to them over here and during the show.
So I see we have a few comments already. People are seeing us and hearing us okay?
Well, they say, yeah, good.
Good.
Hey, Michael Dorsey, how are you?
And David Cross.
Yeah. And David's there. He's ready. Just look at this herd of buffaloes. Okay. This show will be recorded. We record all of these. Actually, they're recorded automatically to YouTube.
That's why we do it this way.
It is such cool technology. So, we do invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is the Geeks on Tour channel.
And that's where all of these are, plus a bunch of other videos of ours.
Yep. Okay, quick tips.
All right. My quick tip this week, and it's because at this conference, I'll put it on us, at the conference where we were this week, if there was one person, there was at least 4 that asked me this same question, and that was on their smartphone. I think they were all Samsungs. I am seeing all of these pictures that say they're from Picasa. Why and how do I get rid of them? And there's lots of threads. There's a thread on our forum that talks about how to stop synchronizing and where they're coming from. But there's really a very simple solution. And that is, and I will show you that. So here on my Android phone, if I go into the gallery, you see the pictures that come from the camera, and then you see all the way down at the bottom there's this one with the little Picasa logo. Now, it's not Picasa. If you've taken our Picasa classes, you know Picasa is software on your computer, but there was this thing called Picasa web albums. So these 13,248 pictures are not on this device. They are on the web, and all you have to do to stop seeing them is tap on the little three-dot menu, choose Content to Display, and uncheck the box that says Content in Picasa. When you click OK, that whole album or those 13,000 pictures goes away.
Wow.
That's all there is to it. Now, if you're using a different gallery app, let me show you what I mean. There is this other gallery app that looks like a pinwheel. I'm trying to focus.
Yeah. It looks okay.
Maybe closer.
Yeah,
the one that looks like a
helps.
pinwheel does the same thing, but the menu is just in a slightly different area.
Okay.
So here, these are all pictures on my device. That is the menu. And if you choose pictures on device, then you know you are only seeing the pictures that are on your device, not ones that are from a web album. These are pictures that are physically on the phone. Now, my second tip, then, still has to do with this issue, but the fact is that we've covered this before, and it is in one of our weekly shows. So I want to show you how you would find there we go, how you would find the notes. So if you are a member and you go to geeksontour.com weekly show, there is a listing down here of all the weekly shows. Up to date, last week was number 30, and there's 29 and 28, and it goes all the way back to 1. Episode number 25 talked about photo organization, and we did cover this Picasa web album feature in photo organization. Now, if you're not a member, you can watch the whole show, but you would have to watch the whole show in order to find that one tip. If you are a member, you can click on number 25 with notes, and here's what you see. Here are all the notes that go along with the show. And photo organization on iPad, no, that was photo organization on Android. And if you read through the notes, right here it talks about, notice the pictures with the Picasa logo. A recent forum thread discusses how to stop synchronizing the Picasa albums altogether, but you don't have to. You can easily eliminate them by tapping the three-dot menu at the upper right and Content to Display and unchecking Content in Picasa. So that's one of the benefits of membership. Those notes will quickly remind you what was covered in each session.
Very good.
All right. And so those are my tips. Oh no, there's one more. And that's and this is just a fun app. And it's called iBeer. So I just tap on I'm thirsty. I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty. So I tap on this app called iBeer, and I tap the red button.
Ah, doesn't that look good?
I have a cold, frosty beer in my hand. Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's just too much fun.
You just have too much fun.
Okay.
All right, let's see if we can get back to the slideshow and see where we are.
There you go.
Okay. Whoops. I messed it up. Here you go. Okay. You can see that better than I can.
Yeah.
There we go. There's another one. Why most of our learners are seniors. Anybody know? These kids come out of the womb with an iPad or an iPhone, and they seem to know all of that stuff automatically.
So we met an author this week of the book, Is This Thing On? And it's great. And
Abby Stokes.
She refers to people our age as being digital immigrants. Kids today are digital natives. It is their native tongue, but we have to learn it. So that's why we're here. But I really like that.
That is cool. That's a
So Is
says
This
a
Thing
lot.
On? It's a great book for seniors getting into computers
Abby
too.
Stokes, and we'll put a link to that on our page somewhere
Yeah.
because she is so good. All right, you ready for your beginner's lesson?
I am.
All right, get on it.
Okay. So today's beginner's lesson is about widgets, and I call widgets mini-me's because they are little apps that give you quick access to the functionality of the main app. So they do not stand alone. You must have the main app installed. For example, if you use Evernote, which I think everybody should, then you need to have the Evernote app installed in order to have the Evernote widget. Another analogy is kind of like a drive-in window. It gives you instant access to some of the functionality of the main app. Then you can't have the drive-in window if you don't have the store or restaurant behind it. All right. So we're going to start with the iPad. And on iOS, on iPad and iPhone, widgets are fairly new. They started with iOS 8, which is just a few months ago, really.
Good.
And just trying to see if I can. No, this one doesn't work quite like the other one did. Okay, so where are widgets on iPhone, iPad? Well, they're on the notification screen. So that's what the way you get to the notification screen is you touch all the way at the very top of your device and drag down. And usually you'll probably be on what is called notifications, but then there's this other tab, Today. That's where the widgets are. So this first one here that tells me it's Sunday, February 22, and it's partly cloudy, that's called just your Today summary. Then I have a Kindle widget. Now, no big deal. It's just kind of shortcuts. So if I'm saying, oh, I want to read a book, what am I currently reading and how far am I? Well, it looks like this one is what I need to do the most work on. So you would tap there. It would take you to my Kindle reader and that book. Now here is an Evernote widget. And what I'm going to show you is where to find them. That's what I'm doing right now. And then how to use them and then how to get them and remove them. So Evernote, and here's Dropbox. Now the Dropbox one just shows me the most recently synchronized files. And I say, I really don't care about that. So the way you decide what is going on to the screen is with this edit. Down at the very bottom, you see a button that says edit. Tap that button, and now you see the widgets that are currently showing versus the ones that are available but not showing. So for example, let's say that, yeah, I would like a calendar widget. So just tap on calendar and it moves from the do not include list up to the currently displaying list.
Keep going.
And now I'll tap done. And now just to start over from scratch, I go to my home screen, and let's say that I'm reading my email, whatever, and I want just a quick look at my calendar. I can drag down from the top make sure that I'm on today, and since I added calendar a minute ago, there's my calendar. I think that takes up an awful lot of space.
It does.
So I say, nah, I don't think I want that widget. I'll tap Edit, and I will tap the minus next to calendar,
Sure you
and
will.
then remove. And then remove. Okay. Now, what about something else? Evernote is very handy. So I'm going to go back, and yeah, so now I'm reading my email, and I see something from this club I belong to called Women's Executive Club, and that prompts me to think of something that I want to write a note about. So without leaving my email, I can drag down, go to my Evernote widget, and tap I want to type a text note.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, and it just goes, it's kind of a shortcut, really, is what it is, all it is. And it takes me straight to the place to enter a note about WEC. Whatever I want to say, and tap save. And now I can go back to my mail, and my note is taken. Now, there's another one that I really thought was pretty cool, and that's iTranslate. So it's not on my list of widgets right now. So what do I need to do? I need to tap Edit and find iTranslate in my list of possible widgets, tap the plus. It is now up on my widget screen. Now, how does it work? Now you have to learn a little bit about it, and I did translate clipboard. So what that means, and I found a website that was in Spanish. And the way this iTranslate works, it actually does something immediately. I think that's a cool purpose of widgets. So I can tap and hold and copy this first paragraph. I can say, see that paragraph there? I want to know what it says. So I long press and selected the paragraph, tap copy. That has put that Spanish language paragraph into my clipboard. Now I can drag down and tap on the translate clipboard, and now it has translated that Spanish paragraph into English for me.
Muy bueno.
Okay, but now why do I have that iTranslate? You say, oh, well, that's great. I like that iTranslate widget. Now you're going through your apps and you say, well, I don't need the app. I got the widget. Touch and hold till they all start wiggling. Tap the X, and that will delete iTranslate app. Now there will be no more iTranslate widget. So the widget is part of the app. Okay, and that's basically it for the iPad.
Okay.
Now let's go to the Android.
Okay.
On the Android, widgets are different. They're much more prevalent. They've been around for a long time. And as we look on the screen here, you can just, a widget, you know one when you see one.
Don't.
And so I can look at this screen and say, oh, that is a widget. Why? Because it's a lot bigger. All of these are just little icons that represent apps. But this is a widget that does something extra. It is showing me both the current time where I am plus the time in Miami. I find that very useful because people I call, we have a lot of people that I call that are on Eastern time zone. My home screen has several widgets. So you can tell this top part is a widget for my calendar. And it just shows me, without my tapping or doing anything, right on my home screen, it shows me what's on my calendar for today. This flashlight is a very simple one, and I do have to tap it, but just tapping it turns on my flashlight. So that's a widget. It does something right on the screen. And this Google is a widget. When I see that widget on the screen, I know that I can just say, okay, Google, what movies are playing near me?
Here are the movies playing near me.
Okay, so I really don't care about the movies right now, but the point is when I see that, I know that Google is listening to me, and I can just say those words, whereas on this screen, there is no Google widget. Okay, Google. Nothing. Nothing happens because the widget isn't there. And my favorite ones is widgets that really do something. So this one is a call Jim. And this one is a send a text to D. And this one is a navigate to home. So all it is single tap. And now I have this extra app on here that prevents me from making accidental calls.
No more butt dialing.
Yeah, we did that before. But so all I would have to do now is press call. Or the same thing, to text to D, it goes straight to my texting app and it's addressed to her. Or navigate, go home. Just one tap and you just have to wait. That's all you have to do, and it will start navigating. I said,
Head west on K Street, Mobile Home Park.
So I figured the closest thing to home for us right now is Palm Creek, so that's what I made. But imagine if you were giving a smartphone to your mom or something, and you didn't think that she would be able to master the navigation, but you wanted it to always be able to get her home.
Wow.
I just think that is so awesome. Okay, so how do you get these apps? I want to show your Nexus just for a second.
You know how to turn it on?
How do you turn this thing on?
What does this button do?
Okay, so this is Jim's tablet, his Nexus tablet, and it is stock Android, so it is not a Samsung. Samsung is slightly different. The way you find apps on here, widgets, is to look for apps. You're all apps, and notice at the top there are apps and there are widgets. So lots of Android devices work that way, apps and widgets, and you have a bunch of them. Oh, just spend some time playing with these things. Some of them are just way, way cool. All right, but on the Samsung, at least on mine, Samsung Galaxy S5, and how is it on yours? Does yours Note 3 work like that, or do you have to tap and hold?
I have to tap and hold on my Note 3.
So on most Samsungs, apparently,
press.
Yeah, you have to long press. Yeah, if I go to apps, there is no choice between apps and widgets. So you have to know something else, and that is to long press on a home page. Oh dear. Sorry, Lizzie.
If she was watching the show, she would know
she would know not to
right
call now. Yeah. She's probably calling saying, "How do I watch your show?"
That would be Lizzie.
Yeah. Oh. So long press on a blank spot. So let me take off. Here, I'm going to take off the flashlight and show you how to put it back. Long press on the flashlight, drag up to remove, and let go. Now I want to put it back. Long press on a blank spot and tap widgets. And then you need to find that flashlight widget. I think they're pretty alphabetical. Yep, there we go. There's flashlight. Long press and put it back in that spot. Okay, now let's try another one. I made sure to have some blank area here on one of my home screens. So I'm going to go get the Facebook. I love Facebook. I like to post to Facebook all the time. So let's see if there's a widget to give me a shortcut to post to Facebook. There we go. And notice we have a couple choices. So this is like a folder of widgets. You tap once to see the two choices. And this one is the one that'll just give me shortcuts to make a Facebook post. Long press and drop it off in a blank spot on your screen. And then tap anywhere to be done. So now, if I want to make a Facebook post, I don't have to open Facebook and go to where I can post. I can just tap on the Make a Post. And it takes me straight to Facebook, ready to type and make a post. Now what about that other Facebook widget? Let's go see what that was. Long press on a blank spot, tap on Widgets, tap on the Facebook group, and then long press on this other one. And I want to drop it off on that same screen. Where was that? I got a little lost there. All right. Ah, look at this. This actually shows me the latest item in my news feed. So we have a post from Nick Russell, and if I tap the arrow, I can see the next post on my news feed. I can also just tap what's on your mind, and now I'm ready to make a post. So that's the Facebook widget. And now, what about that go home? I mean, I do think that is just so cool for people who aren't all that comfortable with their devices, but for safety's sake, you want it to be able to give them navigation home from anywhere they are. So I'm going to remove that one and put it back. Long press, drag up to remove. All right, now long press, and then tap on Widgets. And I think that one was called Directions. Yeah, it's not under G for Google Maps. I mean, it is Google Maps, but the widget is called Directions. Tap and hold and drag it into place, but now it's going to have some other options for you to fill out. So choose destination, and I need to type something. And like I said, the closest thing to home for us right now is Palm Creek Golf in Casa Grande.
Almost.
Oops. Casa Grande. Did I get it right that time?
It looks good.
AZ. And then the shortcut name, I can say go home.
Okay, I am home.
And say, right, we're home wherever we are. That's pretty nice. So that's all there is to it. Now you have an icon on whatever home screen, and that could be on your main home screen, or you could even put it down here in the always available icon area. But just tap go home. Oh, I never stopped the last one, but so I say stop that one and start over again.
Head west on K Street, Mobile Home Park.
Cool.
I am really impressed with that. And to get somebody to call, same kind of thing. You go to Widgets, and here, Contacts. And notice there's 3 options here. That one will just give you a shortcut to a contact's entire record. This one will ask you which phone number you want to call, and this one will just make a text icon for him.
Cool. Okay.
And that's it.
We got a question here. I'm using an iPad, and there aren't very many widgets available. Facebook, etc. Can you add widgets to the list?
The only way to get a widget on the list is to have the app. I mean, you delete the app, the widget goes away, you add the app, the widget comes back. So, I mean, if you have the Facebook app installed, the Facebook widget should be there if you're on iOS 8. Now, you have to tap on Edit,
Okay.
to see the ones that aren't put on the, maybe that's the piece that you're missing.
Go ahead and show it real quick.
Okay. So the widgets that I see right away, if I'm on the Today tab, are the ones that I have specifically added. To add more from the possible list, you need to find Edit down at the bottom. And I discovered sometimes that Edit takes a second to appear.
Okay.
So you tap on Edit. Now you see the ones that are currently working and the ones that you have available. So if the Facebook app is there is no Facebook widget on the iPad.
Okay.
But the Evernote, if the Evernote or the Waze.
Or Runkeeper, this something.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
widgets are brand new on iPad. They're on iDevices.
Okay.
So there really aren't that many of them yet, but I expect that to change.
Okay, great.
Okay. So now I need to go back.
Don't look at me. I think that was a great tip, though. That's a great lesson.
Well, I know I learned some things putting this lesson together this week. I did not know about the phone calling and the map directions widget. So
And that's what this show is all about. Us learning so that we can teach you.
Yeah.
And
it forces us to
we
learn things.
We certainly don't know it all. And there's just no one who does. Okay?
Constant learning.
Constant learning. Okay, my app of the week this week is the silent mode timer. And Chris is going to try and get that up on her Android. It is Android only. It's a really helpful application and a widget to disable the silent mode after a certain time. People who are in a movie theater and have their phones on and the phone rings during the show, it's really annoying. But it's not the phone's fault. It's the owner's fault. So you really, it's nice. Or if you're in a meeting, most of us don't have real meetings anymore, but you forget to turn off your silent mode afterwards. So this is a timer. So you can set the countdown in time to disable the silent mode, and you can do the automatic notify or prompt to enable a timeout when the silent mode's engaged. It has big, easy-to-read numbers. That's very important for us. And
why would that be?
Yeah, really. Configurable timing. Okay.
All right.
So let's move over to the Android. Okay. And silent mode timer. Now this is free. There is a pay-for version. It costs $1.60. It's pretty expensive. So you can set your timer for however long you want it to be silent, and then after that time is done, figure 2 hours for a movie or something like that, and when that's all done, you will have the sound back.
And the best way it works is it pops up. So how do I turn the sound off? I usually do it just by pressing the down volume until the sound goes all the way off. And then look, the silent timer pops right up and says, oh, okay, I see that you've gone into silent mode. When would you like to come back out of silent mode? And I'll say, you're 1 hour. 1 hour is good. So it'll be in silent mode till 1:34.
Okay.
And set.
And my phone is set to the end of the show. So actually closer to 1 o'clock our time. All right. You want to switch back to the slideshow? I think I have a couple of screenshots. And there are a couple of silent mode timers out there. Here's another one, silent mode free, and with the big colorful numbers. And so you have a countdown mode, you have an elapsed time, so you can see where it is, and you can set the maximum time, and that is the maximum time you can set is 24 hours. Okay. What was that? Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Geeks On Tour. It's over. Did you learn something? Well, I know I did, especially about the widgets. Widgets are great, and on the Android you get a lot of them. So, the iPad, iPhone, where do you see widgets?
On the notification screen. You have to drag down and then make sure you're tapped on the Today tab of the notification screen.
And how do you specify which widgets to see?
At the bottom of that same screen, you should see a button that says Edit.
Okay.
Edit is how you say which ones you do and don't want to see.
And true or false, a widget is a standalone mini app.
Nope.
No.
It cannot stand alone. It has to.
Okay.
It's a marriage with the main app. If you delete the main app, the widget's gone.
Okay. And on Android, where do you see the widgets?
The widgets on Android are right on your home screens. You just know one when you see one because it doesn't look like an icon.
So that pretty much answers the next question. How do you get the widgets?
Well, no. How do you get the widgets? You have to long press on a home screen on the Samsung.
Okay.
Now, on stock Android devices, you go to your All Apps, and you should see that there's a tab for apps and another tab for widgets.
Okay. Some widgets are configurable. They can open an app with pre-programmed options, such as calling and texting a particular person or place.
And then, or blank was my point there. Or what else could they do? What other pre-configurable ones are there? Directions. So Google Maps can have a widget that will navigate to a specific place. And you could have several of those. You could have a widget that will take you home, another widget that will take you to the store, another widget that will take you to your daughter's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's assuming you have a daughter. All right. What's the web page that lists all of our weekly shows?
geeksontour.com, and then a menu item for weekly show.
All right. And what's the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters?
geeksontour.com, and then the menu item says blogs and articles, and the first option is newsletters.
Whoops.
What are the benefits?
There
The
we
benefits of becoming a member. Number one is access to all our 350 some odd tutorial videos on our website. Number two is to be able to ask specific questions in our member Q&A forum. And number three, becoming more valuable every day, is our show notes that are saved on our What Does This Button Do weekly show page.
Okay, so to become a member, you just go to geeksontour.com and click on the
Become a member.
Become a Member button.
It's right there at the top.
Okay, next time, March 22nd.
Well, today's.
No, today's February.
No, the next time that we have a Sunday available is March 22nd, because for the next 2 weeks.
Right.
Or is that out for? That sounds like a whole month away, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay.
We're going to do some live shows, but they may not be this particular What Does This Button Do show. We're going to try and do some live events from the rallies that we're going to be in.
You are just a glutton for punishment, aren't
Hey,
you?
this stuff is just so much fun. I love technology. Maybe you've noticed.
So we are going to be at 2 rallies. Next week we are at the Good Sam rally, and the week after that we are at the Escapade rally in Tucson. So we are going to be teaching real live people on Sunday afternoon.
Unlike you folks out there.
For the next 2 Sundays, so we can't do this show on the next 2 Sundays.
We'll have live audiences, yeah.
But we might find another time that we can do it in a slightly different way. So
yeah.
he wants to do a roving reporter kind of a show.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, isn't it?
We'll see. But the next time we do a regular show, the beginner's lesson will be on texting.
Ooh, yeah, cool. And we'll take your questions. Please watch for notifications for the shows or the live events that we're going to be doing. And we'll try and get them out there and send them out to the circles and invite people in our mailing list. And then, click.
And if you're going to be at the Good Sam rally or the Escapade, we look forward to seeing you.
Yes, we do.
Any other questions?
I'm looking. No. David Cross says he's going to see us at the
Escapade. Great.
Michael Dorsey says, cool. Thanks for another great show. Blah, blah, blah. You guys are wonderful. We really have a fun doing all of this. And
did you notice on the weekly show page there's now a link to a wish list? If you have any ideas for weekly shows, click on that link and let us know.
Okay. All right. So stay tuned for more information. And what does this button do?
What does this button do? Just keep pressing those buttons.
Don't
You'll
touch
find out
that
all sorts
button,
of new
Chris.
stuff. Touch that button. And that one. And how about that one?
Don't touch